Summer has finally arrived, and if you are a bass fisherman, you're living in Central California, Northern California, your prospects of going out catching fish are pretty good right now. The Delta is getting more and more consistent. Clear Lake is on fire. You've got a lot of options right now. So with that, let's take a look at a few pictures, then we'll get right into the report. Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. You're watching In Deep on the Delta. This is the weekly fishing report for June 25th. And I want to get into this report because it's actually a pretty good one. Things are getting more and more consistent and we have a lot of options here, like I was saying in the introduction. So we'll go through a little news, then we'll get right into the reports. For those of you who have been watching the last month or so, you know that I've been celebrating the In Deep on the Delta 15,000 subscriber plateau. We've been giving prizes away in a weekly drawing. Now, last week's weekly drawing was won by John Lewis, and it's a pack of baits from various custom bait makers here in Central California. A bunch of great baits. Unfortunately, I have not heard from John in this past week. So, John, I'm going to give you one more week to give me a holler, and you can catch me at my Gmail, Cooper, that's SCOOPER 9561032. Give me a holler, John. We'll figure out how to get those baits to you. If I haven't heard from you by next week, then we're going to have to draw another contestant. Bad news for John, possibly good news for another contestant. Now, this week's raffle prize, or not raffle, but drawing prize, was a bait package from River to Sea, full of River to Sea baits, really great package, and I'm going to announce the winner right now. Not a name, but it's a set of letters. Let's give these letters out. It's GLIGH01. That is GLIGH01. So give me a holler, G, and we'll figure out how to get those baits to you. With that, let's get right into the report, and let's start off with Clear Lake. I knew something was going on at Clear Lake because I talked to my buddy Joey Price from Priceless Fishing, asked him what he had been doing. He took a day off. Him and one of his friends went up and they fished with Zach from Live Fast Movement Outdoors. Jack is a guide up there, or Zach is a guide up there. Sorry, Zach. And they went up, had a great day, caught a lot of fish, caught some big fish, and said, Steve, you got to give Zach a heads up. He's one of the hardest working guides out on Clear Lake, and he's doing a really good job. He is highly recommended. So I talked to Zach a little bit. He's saying, you know, the weekend warriors have been struggling a little bit the past couple of weeks. The more experienced anglers are doing very well. It's a post-spawn bite. The fish are starting to move offshore, you know, rock piles, primary main lake points. Whew, that is a tough one. So Zach has been fishing a little farther offshore, and I think he probably has that that knowledge that he can get away from a lot of the anglers getting offshore. He's throwing deep crankbaits. In the mornings, he's fishing frogs, he's fishing topwaters, having a great time. But as the sun comes up, he's going offshore fishing these rock piles, fishing with deep crankbaits, Carolina rigs, and they've been crushing them. So with that, give Zach a holler if you're looking for a hard-working guide out on Clear Lake. His number is 515-689-0886, and his business is Live Fast Movement Outdoors. That's his guide service. I want to also give you a report from Dave out at Clear Lake Outdoors. And you know, the last couple weeks, Dave's reports have not been great. He's been very honest about the fishing, you know, maybe taking a little break. It's been, I won't say tough, but not up to Clear Lake standards. Well, this week everything's turned around, and these are the reasons why Dave says you should be up there right now. The lake is in great shape. Water temperature is 75 degrees. The daytime temperatures have been low for this time of year, around 85 in the afternoon, 50 in the evening. The oxygen on the lake is very good. It's a very healthy lake right now, and the fish are literally on the move. They're on the bite. Everyone is catching fish. It's all over the lake. If you want to fish topwater, buzz baits and whopper ploppers, fast moving baits, the fish are very active right now. If you want to fish all day long, good numbers, you can go out and basically junk fish, run the bank, do what you need to do. You're going to catch fish. You're going to catch good numbers of fish. You're going to catch big fish in the numbers that you're catching. Dave also wanted me to talk about the big bass tournament this week. Have me give a shout out to Skeet Reese. You guys know Skeet. He's a California guy. He's really working hard on building up the West Coast bass fishing community. Skeet is basically putting on the big bass battle at Clear Lake. It's going to be this weekend. One fish wins a new $90,000 Ranger boat. It's one big fish. Somebody's going to get a 9, 10, 11, 12 pounder up there. They're going to win a $90,000 Ranger bass boat. There's going to be about 300 boats, so if you have any questions, you can check that out. I'm sure it's all over the website. You can go to Skeet Reese's website. If you can't find it there, you can talk to Dave out at Clear Lake Outdoors. Oh, and by the way, as I go through, I'm going to be talking about Joey. I'm talking about Zach. I'm talking about Clear Lake Outdoors. We'll talk about Christian's got a report for me, Rob Cloutier from the Bass Hole. Any one that I talk about, you can go down into the comments and I have all of their information where you can get a hold of them. So just keep that in mind. All right, we're going to move on from Clear Lake and we're going to, where are we going to go? We're going to go slide right over to Don Pedro. I talked to Central Valley Bait and Tackle. I talked to Aaron over there. He said the bite is steady. It's not lights out, but it's steady. If you go up there, you know what you're doing. You could probably pull a 15-pound bag fairly easily. Not easily, but that's the average. 15-pound bag, you go up, put one foot in front of the other, you're junk fishing. You're going to do well up there. You're going to catch some nice spots. The technique is changing hourly, not only daily, but hourly. Everything is going on. There's a good topwater bite in the morning. Reaction baits to finesse work throughout the day, but you want to keep a topwater on. Keep it on all day long. Weather's been pretty darn decent up there. We're not getting these 100-degree days, so you can fish throughout the day. Underspins, plastics, jigs, shaky heads. You go offshore a little bit, you fish the humps. You know, it's summertime fishing, but Don Pedro is fishing well. Call Aaron for Don Pedro out at Central Valley Bait and Tackle, and I have his number up in the comments. Let's move along to the Delta. The Delta's in good shape. Water temperatures are high 70s. Clarity, I'm here at Paradise Point. I can see 8 to 10 feet in the water. I think the clarity is probably on an average of 4 to 6 feet out here. Water temperatures are probably going to be approaching 80 here pretty soon. They have been doing a lot of spraying. It hasn't affected the fishing a whole lot, other than you have to maybe look around a little bit more to find good, healthy, clean vegetation if that's what you want to fish. Talked to Christian Ostrander a little bit about that, and Christian says, I don't care. He says, I don't care how much they spray the surface vegetation. He's worried about subsurface vegetation, and he says as far as punching goes, that mat dries up, it still creates a shade canopy, and he's punching it. He doesn't care one way or another. By the way, I did a video with Christian on drop shotting. I had gotten a lot of questions from a lot of you folks that were asking about what's Christian doing when he's drop shotting. Well, if you haven't seen the video, he talks all about what he does drop shotting. I think we did that video Monday. Tuesday, Christian went out, drop shotted up an 11-pound fish. We got the picture of that in there, and I got a picture of it for you guys that haven't seen it yet, so we'll throw that picture up there. He picked up an 11-pounder on a drop shot. Not too bad. I'll have his report here in a little bit. Wednesday nighter, they produced I think their first 30-pound bag of the year. 30 pounds won it, second was 20, third was 18. It took 16 to cash a check. Pretty decent fishing. I don't know what the Monday night tournament was, but I think it was right around 28 pounds. Don't quote me on that. But big bags are starting to come out of the Delta. It's not for everyone, but it is starting to show its potential. And you know what? We got trucks going by here. The asparagus is getting shipped off the islands. Everything is growing. The bass are feeding. So it's a good time to be on the Delta. So anyhow, that's the Wednesday nighter. I'm going to go through several reports that I've gotten from a lot of the notable people that you guys might know here around the Delta. Then I'll let you know what I'm doing out here. Some of you guys know J.D. Farage, young angler from, local angler from, I think he graduated from Liberty High School a couple years ago. Big stick out here. He's fishing at LSU. He was back in town a couple of weeks ago fishing the Bass Hole tournament. I talked to J.D. He gave me some information that I thought was pretty good, and since then he was really just killing it out here. He was getting these big fish on drop shot, and what else was he doing? Frogging and drop shotting. And you know, as I talked to JD, interesting young gentleman, really nice guy. As I said, I believe he's on scholarship, LSU. He's fishing for the bass team, and I think I'd like to talk with him and maybe do a couple of interviews for everybody to listen, just what it's like for a young guy to live the dream. He's away at school, he's bass fishing, he's a student angler, and you know, when I was growing up, there wasn't, you know, if you were a student angler, if you were a student athlete, that meant you were playing baseball, football, basketball. Whoever thought that I'd be talking, saying, hey, we got J.D. Farage and student athlete bass fishing. It's a new day, I'll tell you. Anyhow, JD, thanks a lot for giving me that report. Also talked to Joe from Core Fishing. And Joe is, you know, he's the essence of your weekend angler. Joe is a teacher. He's working through the week, 5 days a week. He loves to fish. He's coming out here. He's having to learn what's going on week by week. He's saying that his fishing has been really consistent. He's this week he's been moving out west. He's fishing out around Sherman, picking up some stripers in the bycatch, not a lot, but he's throwing a paddle tail swim bait. He's still picking up fish out there, some fish in the 6 to 7 pound class. Not a lot of them, but the largemouth have been cooperating for him. He's been out there having a good time and, you know, putting one foot in front of the other. One thing that Joe said, the AM bite and the PM bite just isn't panning out. He's fishing throughout the day. His number one bait has been a spinner bait. He's catching them on worms. He's catching them on spinner baits. He's catching them on chatterbaits. He's catching them on topwater baits. But, you know, I think when you guys hear about Joe and guys like Joe, you can go out and say, you know, I can do that. So I believe Joe will probably have a video. Check him out at Core Fishing. As I talked about Joe catching them on worms, let's talk a little bit about Joey Price. Joey has been killing it out here. He's been fishing, I think, out west, kind of in that same area. Joey is saying if you want to catch the big fish, you stick to a frog and you fish to it and you stick to a chatterbait. One thing Joey said, put a worm on, you're going to catch a lot of fish, but you're not going to catch the big fish. So Joey's staying away from a worm. I would say if you're going out there, fish what you have confidence in. I talked to Rob out at the Bass Hole. His reports have all been good, but as Rob and I talk, we talk about being good, but not up to normal Delta standards. We are both catching fish. The fishing is fairly consistent day to day, depending on who you are and where you are on the given day, but it just hasn't been quite up to Delta standards. Again, Rob is saying chatterbaits, worms, topwaters, punching, frogs. It's just whatever is in front of you on the given day at the given time. You fish that piece of water with the bait that covers it the best. That's about as good as I can tell you. You know, I have been out doing a lot of AM and PM fishing, and it has not been as consistent as I would like it. I can tell you that it doesn't, the AM is not better than the PM is not better than the AM. I'll have one good morning or one good afternoon, and I'll try to repeat that. And that just kind of, it's not as steady as I would like to see it. And the other thing that is the last week or so that has dropped out for me on the AM bite is the lack of larger fish. I can catch fish up to about 3 pounds. I'll get a couple of those in the catch, but a lot of the fish are in that, I'll say, 12 to 14 inch range, all the way up to 2.5 pounds. A 3.5 pounder is a good fish. And I might get one bite that I think is a big bite, maybe a 5-pound bite, maybe bigger. But the big fish just haven't really started chewing on it. And I want to just say one more thing. Talk to Joey, talk to Christian, talk to Rob. All these guys know what's going on. Everybody seems to think that this next full moon is going to produce some more spawn. Rob's saying he's seeing a lot of fish still on the beds. We're all seeing a lot of fry out here, small fry from what happened about a week or so ago. And as I talk to everybody, I kind of put my own opinion together on why things have been so inconsistent, especially with the spawn. Everyone that comes up here and thinks they're going to see fish on beds and pull fish on beds has been disappointed. You just don't see that much like you used to. You don't see it definitely like you see it on Clear Lake. And what I think has happened, as from February to now, every time a full moon comes in, there are certain things that have to happen for the spawn to really go crazy. And a big deal is the full moon, the solunar activity. That's when a lot of the fish come up and spawn. But what we haven't had is anything that coincides with that full moon to help it. Every time a full moon comes in, we get a drop in the weather temperature. The water temperatures drop. The barometer is up and down. And all this has to play, when the fish are there, the females think, okay, man, full moon coming, I'm ready to go up. 3-4 days before the full moon, all of a sudden the barometer goes crazy. We get nasty wind, temperature drops, water temperatures drop. They don't march in. As of now, everything looks good that we're not only going to have a full moon, but we're going to have warm water temperatures, and hopefully the barometer stays the same. With that, let's continue to enjoy the good fishing, and really here on the Delta hope that it gets even more consistent, and with this full moon coming up, the bigger fish come out and start to bite. Stick with the chatterbait, stick with a frog. Those are the two baits that are going to catch you big fish. I'd say throw a worm, throw a drop shot. You might get lucky like Christian catching an 11-pounder, but you're going to get bit, you're going to catch a lot of fish, and you're going to have fun. Don't forget the crankbaits either. Get out there, have fun, be safe. We'll see you guys on the river.